Welcome back to another episode of 2-Minute Deposits. Today we're talking rollovers and the complexities involved in those rollovers. And Mike, we learned a lot.
I learned a tremendous amount.
We had two experts joining us that are on staff with us here, Heather Gudak and Angela Keeley-White, and we appreciate all the things they shared. But let's talk about one of the things they shared that stood out to us.
For me, what I learned is how much time it takes. And when I say time, it's the process of evaluating your plan, filling out the paperwork, making sure the money moves as it is, having the right accounts open to move to. It's just a lot more time than I thought it was.
Yeah, and then that time could extend if things get lost that I wasn't aware of. If your address changes or if they just lose the paperwork, the company loses the paperwork, it could be a huge tax bill for you, which could upset a lot of people. So those are some of the things to watch out for. If you want to hear more, or if you're going through a rollover process now, take a listen to Heather and Angela as they break down things to watch out for, starting with why an in-kind rollover is important.
In-kind means that you are not what we call selling all of your holdings. So once you start that process, and if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, your whole entire 401k, for some people, that's your whole savings, would be sold, and you are now locked in at whatever market level that was, and your money is just kind of floating around, literally, either a check in the mail to you or funds being wired, and you're waiting for it to be reinvested. And that process could take 2 to 3 phone calls. So making sure that you look to see, can I move this in kind, and what is the timing of it? Do you need to maybe rebalance your account, which Angela's going to talk about in a little bit, but knowing the timing of that and understanding there's going to be a delay.
You want to make sure that you're properly allocated before, during, and after the rollover, because depending on what kind of rollover you're doing, if you're going to be going all to cash, if you can't do an in-kind rollover, you need to make sure, but what are my other investments like in my other account? Definitely one of those things where you don't want to just set it and forget it with the rollover. You want to track through the whole process to make sure that it happens like you intended to.
It's our job to make sure when a client comes to us and they say they've lost their job or they've changed jobs or they've retired or a prospect calls us, sometimes if you've left a company, there might be some resentment that you have with that old company and you want to move quickly. But moving quickly sometimes is not in your best interest. You really need to take some time and pause and review your options because you could be making a mistake.